Hello everyone, and let's do a book talk about The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I would not be surprised if I said that wrong. Not quite sure on that. So this takes place in Washington and it is told in third person, and this is part of a duology. So The Exorcist is book number 1 and it was published in 1971. This is definitely an adult book. It is a horror. At this point, it is considered a classic. It also has paranormal aspects, and I would say this is definitely a religious horror, as religion plays a huge part in this. There was, when I read this book, an audiobook available on Everand, narrated by the author himself, as well as Elena by Elena. And it is 12 hours and 51 minutes on standard one-time speed. And I would say that it is, the majority of the narration is by the author William himself. So what is this about? For this one, we are following a mother and daughter. The mother is in the acting business. She has a daughter who's about 11 in this. The mother's name is Chris and the daughter's name is Reagan. The daughter finds a Ouija board. Stay away from those. I'm a firm believer of that. Do not mess with those. So a Ouija board. She finds a Ouija board, starts messing with it, starts communicating with this ghost. The mother thinks that Reagan is talking about kind of like an imaginary type friend situation. Things start to go wrong. Chris starts to hear strange noises. Things start getting moved slightly around, like a dresser gets moved just a little bit. Makes Chris start to second guess herself. Things that Reagan says are starting to ring some slight bells, but she keeps trying to dismiss them as just Reagan acting up. And then you find out Reagan is possessed by this demon or devil, whatever he is. There's a lot of her when she realizes that Reagan is something wrong with her to the point of being possessed. She starts to seek help from the church, Catholic Church, for an exorcism. They're saying no. There is commentary on how they would use exorcisms for people that they thought were possessed, but it turns out the person was actually suffering from something like schizophrenia and hallucinations and things like that, and so it was not used properly. Very, very rarely do they ever, they suggest seeing a psychiatrist, so very rarely do they ever, at least when this book was written, use it. I don't know. I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know the Catholic stance on exorcisms now, but they've gotten away from using them, at least according to the book, and that is my understanding as well. That is what I've heard, that is actually true. So they finally get permission to perform this exorcism on her daughter, and that's pretty much it. It's called The Exorcist. This guy comes in to perform an exorcism. He is an exorcist for the Catholic Church, and the things Reagan does are definitely not herself, as you would suggest, you know, someone that's having some sort of psychosis or psychotic break, or in this particular case is possessed. So that's pretty much what this book is about. Okay, you're just following that. Very, very heavy on the religious horror. There is talk of desecration of religious artifacts or things that have religious significance, and I've been in places where, like, a church down the block has been broken into and people have graffitied or set things on fire and stuff like that because they don't like that particular church or whatever. So I've seen that happen, and I know it does happen. So that is described in the book. And then things like that. There is a movie adaptation. I heard that there's going to be a more recent one, like a remake of it. I'm not sure on that. I could be wrong, and honestly, I do not care because I've seen the original, and I have, if they ever do, and if they are doing a remake, I have no interest in it. No, I just, after reading the book and seeing the original, it's like, no, okay, I'm good. I don't need any more adaptations on that. So that's all I'm going to say about this. As it is a horror, definitely proceed with caution if you are not a big fan of religious horror. This one for me did occasionally cross a line that made me very uncomfortable. And that's me personally. Some people it won't bother them in the slightest. I did have to remind myself, one, this is a work of fiction, and two, it's like you have this 12-year-old girl who's possessed, who's doing things and saying things that a normal 12-year-old child would not do. But of course, it's going to be completely contrary to who she is as a child, because she is possessed and this demon is making her do some very dark and dirty things. So that's what the book is about. What are your content and trigger warnings? Religious horror, you have blood and gore. You have death of a child, as I had mentioned earlier. She finds a Ouija board, so you have that talked about. Again, the gore. It does get a little sexually explicit at times as well, especially with things that this little girl does. And one scene particular with a cross. So, yeah. So those are your content and trigger warnings. As far as representation, pretty much up to your imagination. There is other religions represented. It's not just Catholic. It's also people that aren't religious, and Jews. Judaism. Anyway, you know what I mean. People who practice or who are Jews are represented in this. I would even go as far to say is that you have a little bit of anti-Semitism sprinkled in there. As well, so just be aware of that. Now, in case you are still on the fence with this book, let's tell you what the word usage are, and it'll tell you either say, I think this is okay for me to pick up, or I better avoid it, in case you're still on the fence. So, the words we have are penis 3 times, the name Jesus 22, and as this is a religious horror, a lot of the times it is done in a religious context. Ass 4 times, bullshit 4, bastard 10, damn 13, the name Christ 39, again I would say usually in a religious sense, occasionally not, damn it 4 times, fuck 20, cunt 11, fondle once, shit 8, hell 18, hooker once, bloody 11, bitch 8. Alright, continuing on, we have smartass 3 times. The word gay once, and it was how it was used that I thought I better write that down. Maybe kind of leaning towards a little homophobia. I don't remember the exact line, so I can't say for sure, but it is used. The word Lord 10, goddamn 3, prissy once, goddammit 5, phallus twice, Christ's sake 3, asshole 3, breast 3, queer once, same type of usage I want to say, again that's why I put it in here, harlot once, erotic 3, cocksucker once, genitals once, masturbate twice, scrotum once, vagina 9, anus twice, sodomize 3, slut twice, semen twice, shitsakes once, hellhound once, shithead once, orgy once, bestiality once, damnation once, cock 4, piss 2, whore 2, ride once, and then the word God 81 times, usually done religiously, but not all of the time. So I would say at least 75% of the time it was used religiously, but, well, maybe about 50-50. So anyway, that is it. I did have a physical book. My own opinion, it was not for me, and I have unhauled this. I did own a physical copy of this. I have unhauled it, so it's gone and probably found a new home by now. and it was 378 pages for the edition that I had. Let me know, have you read this book? Have you read anything else by this author? If you have not read this, after hearing what is contained in this book as far as the content and triggers, what it's about, and the word usage, is this one that you are going to avoid, or are you going to go ahead and pick it up? Does it intrigue you? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.